Oh, did we get Kathy back on the line?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I just want to make sure we got back to her because I feel bad dropping her.
Absolutely. Kathy, you're back, I believe. No, Kathy's not back. Let me click the thing again. My computer. Kathy.
Yeah, hi.
Hey!
There we go.
All right. Sounding good.
Okay. I don't know why I was walking in the kitchen actually with the phone, and I don't know, maybe I might have had it on speakerphone, so I apologize.
It's all good. So what did you want to talk? You were talking about actually.
We were talking about Hellfire and the Hellfire and Damnation. That intellectually, I know sounds ridiculous, but it's like I was telling the screener. It's in your when you are raised with such beliefs, it's indoctrinated into you. So part of you wants to say you're crippling yourself. You can't live your life, and yet you're not. It's ruining your life, particularly as you get older. And with this virus, it brings death literally to your doorstep, because you're reminded every day of how many people have died and so on and so forth. And so my parents were educated. I mean, it's not like, I'm not saying that really has anything much to do with it, but my father had a PhD in English, and my mother she was a college graduate. So, it's not like nor were they particularly religious. But she made me and my brothers go to church, to the Episcopal Church. So, and I called this show about a year ago, too, because I spoke to this lady who's really nice, because I had had an abortion as a teenager as well. So my friends say, oh, no, you're not going to hell. You're not going to burn in hell. Please don't worry about that. I do have a child. I have a daughter who lives down in Austin. She's 30. And it's very the main point of what I'm trying to say is I don't know how to make myself stop believing and start living.
So
that's rough. That's really, really, really rough.
That in a nutshell.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's not. I see maybe
we got this. We got
no amount of psychology. You can go to a psychologist. What good is it going to do to talk about this over and over and over again? It's something, or ruminate about it over and over and over again every single day. And as you get older,
I'm sure it gets worse.
You're approaching death. I mean, let's be realistic.
Right. So I would say I don't want let's not cast aspersions towards psychology. Or let's not do that.
Oh, I'm not.
I'll be the first person.
The psychologist I've been to is wonderful.
Right. Yeah.
Not
so
aspersions towards him.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure because I want to say I've sought
not at all. No.
The help of a psychologist many times. I suffer from PTSD.
Oh yeah.
Anxiety disorder.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think that it helps to talk about it because what we end up doing is ruminating on things that we don't need to. You, myself, Eric, we're all going to die. There's nothing that's going to change that. At some point, we will cease to exist. The more we dwell on it, the more that dread fills us. But there's nothing that we can do to stop that. But we can enjoy the time that we have here and focus on making the most of that, right? So,
but here's the problem here. Mm-hmm. I don't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Well, you haven't done anything. You haven't. People
you don't know that. Kathy, you don't know
that. Is murder. I'm assuming. I'm going to assume. Right. I'm going to make an ass out of myself. Out of you and me. Okay? You haven't had an abortion, and people say that's murder. I mean, I've been my ex-husband. Mm-hmm. I do have a child as well, so I've this has been an issue that I've never been able to resolve, no matter how I've been to Christian counseling over it. I've been to secular counseling over it. It's not. I've talked to family. I've talked to friends. No, my daughter does not want to talk about it. Kind of couldn't imagine why she would want to. I don't want to bring it up with her. I love my daughter very, very much.
Kathy?
There's no. Yes, I'm rambling. Go ahead.
It's okay. I understand. I entirely understand.
Yeah.
Really.
What I'm trying to say is you're a good person, and so you guys are good people who've never killed anybody.
Kathy.
Yes.
Let's break this apart a little bit. I think the more important piece is talking about your trauma and validating it. But I want to take a pin to that right now because I want to address something a lot quicker. There are people who have worked their way out of some of the most heinous religions. Take a look at, and I keep pointing to the Phelpses, right? The children of Fred Phelps, who did the Westboro Baptist Church, right? Two of them.
I'm sorry, Eric. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing.
Sure, I'll try speaking up a bit. The Westboro Baptist Church.
The Wesley Baptist Church.
The Westboro Baptist Church.
Westboro Baptist Church, okay.
Yes. They're the ones who stand outside of military funerals with the signs.
Those people. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Because for homosexuality or something like that?
Exactly.
Oh, I've heard of those people, yeah.
Two of those people found their way out and are amazing activists.
Right.
Who talk about their experience and who are working to make things better. Should we hold them to account? Should we kick them out of this community or say you're not a good person? Should we do that to them?
No, there's nothing.
Why are you doing that to you?
You're and intellectually and I know that you're right.
Yeah, you deserve some self-compassion.
I know you're right, but
Kathy needs help too. And that kind of leads into the next piece, and that is we had Daryl Ray on not too long ago, and he talked about this specifically. I know that it hurts, and we've put a name to it: religious trauma syndrome. And people are fighting it all over the world. And the fact is that you bringing this up is probably resonating with a number of viewers right now who are saying, I'm in that same position. So I'm glad that you
I'm articulating it okay, though.
Yes. No, you're fine.
I want to get this through.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
I don't want to ramble about it. I want people to understand that
that's why we're helping.
It's something I've lived with I'm 55.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a few decades of torture.
Years.
Yeah. So here's what I do, right? So when I encounter the religious people who say, you know what, there's this sin, and this sin is going to hurt you, and it's going to impact your life negatively, and you got to get rid of this sin. So I say, okay, what are the manifestations of sin in my life, and how can I detect that? And they go, what? I say, okay, if you're approaching this thing called sin as if it's some sort of malady that we're all inclined to get, right? It's all innate to us. What does it look like? What is there some type of pathophysiology of sin? Can I go to the doctor and get diagnosed with sin? What is it actually? Am I going to have welts and boils and open sores? No, nothing. So there's no actual manifestation of this thing that you just created to plague my life, right? So why should I be concerned about that? And they say, well, it'll affect you in the afterlife. Okay, cool. We got to the fun part now. Awesome.
That's the nexus of it.
Right. So
there.
And so
here's your finger right on it.
Yes, ma'am. But so here's where I go. And you can do this too. This is Dragnauct, Anti-Apologetics TM. How can I feel pain without a nervous system in the afterlife? I asked him that.
I've never thought about it like that. Without a physical body, you can't.
How do you feel pain? How do I perceive anything? You explain that to me, and I'll believe your religion. Conversation ends.
I don't want to digress, but I just want to ask a quick question about some of these movies that say, for example, Heaven is for Real and Proof of Heaven.
Mm-hmm.
are those, I mean, people hold, and the case for Christ, and so, I don't know if that's a movie or we're not.
There's a movie and a book by Lee
Strobel. I believe it is, but I don't want to stray from the topic that I'm on. I don't want to keep you from taking other callers, but those are held up as true, that events that have truly occurred. They're not, are they? As far as I know, no one has ever survived death, and Houdini told his wife he would come back to her, the Great Escape artist, and give her proof of an afterlife. But as far as I know, nobody has.
No, people have near-death experiences, and they
yes, sir.
contrive something that is their explanation for what they were experiencing in the moment, right? And it's interesting that you hear Christians end up seeing the Christian deities or Christian supernatural figures. It's weird that you don't find a Buddhist having a near-death experience about Christian things, right? So it's a manifestation of what's already in your head. Just think about your dreams. What happens when you dream? All the stuff that you experience, all that input that you've had for years, and even recently, ends up forming a story, a narrative in your head, and you experience that. How is that any different than when you are unconscious in the process of dying? Not dead, but dying. So
that I don't know, because I watched the Atheist Experience one time when they had this topic, and Matt said that they've tried to test the to see if people actually do, there's some sort of vantage point where they can see themselves on the operating table, and everything that all these tests have, they've all failed
there's no empirical evidence for that, right? It's like how many scalpels are on the table next to you, and there's a reason for that. What people are reporting, they genuinely think that they're having this afterlife experience. They don't know that it is something that their brain is producing in that state. That's it. There's not something that is really going on. So if it were, then we could have those type of experiments, and they could tell you, oh yeah, there were 6 scalpels there. There is a chick, and she had blue scrubs on that had flowers on them. All type of stuff that you would not have seen prior to going under. And so that should tell you something about the validity of these claims.
Yeah. That said, can I just interject a little bit as well? So Kathy,
yes,
I want to give you resources.
Yes.
Resources are important. Okay. We talked about religious trauma syndrome. We've had Daryl Ray on. I want to talk about that organization, Recovering from Religion. Check out the Hotline Project. It's 1-84 I Doubt It. And it is a peer support.
I'm sorry, what is it?
Sure, 1-84 I Doubt It. That's 1-844.
Oh, okay, I got it. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm also saying it out so people who are watching can get there as well. It's a peer support network for people to talk about this. I don't know your particular circumstances, but I do know that in cases that I've talked to people engaging with those ideas and working them out. You said that your daughter doesn't want to talk about it. That's okay. Call the Hotline Project.
No, she thinks it's all nonsense.
But that's fine. There are people who you can talk to. You can also hop into our Discord. It's fantastic. They're not trained like the Hotline Project, but I think our Discord's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to be there after this show. Drag, I'm
okay.
You'll join me as well. That said, I want to give you a little bit more, and I want to make this a call. If you are watching this and you have some time, the Hotline Project needs volunteers. It doesn't need them now. It needs them yesterday. It needs them last week. There's a significant amount of callers who are not getting answers because there just are not enough people. It's a peer network. You can and you will be trained.
Cool.
Yes, and you can be trained. And being there for people is a wonderful feeling, especially right now when we're feeling like we don't have a lot of
it is.
Yeah, when we don't have a lot of control in our lives, right? Being able to reach out and help people is fantastic.
Yeah, I take care of somebody who's disabled, so
that's wonderful.
My fiance is disabled, and he's a lot younger than me, and I'm in a lot better shape than he is. So he's 38, and I'm 56. So,
Cheers,
and we've been together for a number of years, and it's overwhelming sometimes, but and I've also been married twice, so there's another 2 strikes against me, but
not even close. You are loved. You're getting lots of love in the chat. You take care and have a wonderful rest of your day, okay?
Thank you both of you for your kind, compassionate words, and I almost said God bless you guys, but
it's okay.
Whatever,
All right, Kathy, thank you so much. And again, I just want to keep saying this. The recovering from religion needs volunteers. If you're worried, you think, oh, well, I don't have a time to regularly schedule it. That's okay. They will work with you. If you have availability at all, please. I don't know how much more I can say this. I was talking to a volunteer from Recovering from Religion yesterday. We talked for a few hours, and hearing from them how heartbroken they were that they couldn't duplicate themselves to talk to people. It broke my heart. Please consider volunteering. They're there, they're waiting, and they need your help. Recovering from Religion.
Please do, folks. And don't think that there's some magical skill that you need. Like this, it's just I tell people what my experience is and what helped me. That's it. It's my understanding that Kamal, a caller to this show and AXP and many others, he has found a lot of reprieve just talking to me, and I didn't even realize it until he actually told me that it's helped him recover from some really serious trauma dealing with religion. And so I didn't think that my advice had helped him that much, but it's good to hear that. So if you people don't realize what you have to offer another person can mean way more to them than it ever will to you. So it starts there. Even if you think that you're going to be terrible at it, as Eric just said, people are going to help you get to that level so that it is effective, at least somewhat, right? Because you have to start somewhere.
And honestly, we called it, well, I called it popping the cork when someone would call in, and I was call screening for the Atheist Experience originally, because there are a lot of atheists who never talk to another atheist in their life. And when you get the opportunity, it's just boom, you want to share your world.
Yeah.
And being there just to listen is incredible. And it's an incredibly important thing that we can do for each other. Really quickly, I saw someone in the live chat that said, I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I'm so sorry. Don't be. That's what we're here for. We're here to help mobilize and give people, resources when we can. And for those people who can help, we want to help direct them to where they can, put that effort to good work. That said, we're happy you're here, and don't ever apologize for that. We're just glad you made it.
Yeah.
One other thing, as far as that subject is concerned, X-Cult Baby, I see you in the chat.
Uh-oh.
We love you. We're thinking about you, and I want you to be on Talk Heathen. So we need to figure out how to get you here, because we care about you, Rudy, and we're sending you hugs, and I'm seeing you in the chat. Also, as a quick little aside, the Houdini thing, I think, is going to get called out in the comments if we don't at least somewhat address it. The comment that Houdini said, "I'll see you again." I believe, at least it was a story that I heard, was that Houdini agreed on a code with his wife, so that spiritualists who he made he took a lot of time debunking spiritualists who were taking advantage of people who had lost someone dear to them, right? So they'd say, "Oh, your child died. I'm in touch with them on the other end. If you give me enough money, that I can put you in touch with them." They're preying on the tragedy of these losses, and Houdini did a lot to help with that. And he was worried that spiritualists would go to his wife after he died and say, "I'm in touch with your husband," and so they agreed on a code word. And if that spiritualist didn't have that code word, then you could confidently say that they're full of shit. I don't know if that's true, but it's a really good story. So I'm going to go with that, I think, until I'm corrected.